Welcome back, everybody, to the Birdies and Bourbon Show. Dan, somebody is $15 million richer, and maybe, just maybe, we're going to see our 15th playoff finish of the year. I don't know. Did we? I know we've got a FedEx Cup champion, but did we have a winner to that golf tournament?
Oh man, no, I think we had a tie. I think we had a tie. It's a good point though. I mean, do you think Cantlay walked up to Jay Monahan afterwards and said 15 million, but I had like 4 playoffs. Where's my overtime pay at?
Well, he may be getting that in the form of a PIP check, which they are not going to announce. So we as fans will never know who's collecting that cash.
Good point.
So yeah, I don't know, man. So all in all, good tournament. I think Cantlay, he comes out 1 stroke ahead for the victory there. Rahm started 1 stroke behind him. So I don't know. I mean, I will give Cantlay this. I mean, he either had the lead or had a share of the lead at the beginning and end of every round. So can't really take anything away from the guy, man. I'd say he earned it, right? 4 victories on the year. Maybe some of those are questionable victories. So we got Memorial, which, whatever, you can asterisk that if you want. He had the playoff with JT. So I don't know.
I mean, Cantlay has been struggling. He had been struggling on the tour with some injuries and some personal stuff. And he didn't start playing like a lot until like the last 3 to 4 years, right? And now it's just like, was it 6th victory on tour or 7th victory on tour? And
I think 6, yeah.
Yeah, 6. And just making sure you're paying attention. And for this year, it's like, well, everybody knows who Patrick Cantlay is now. We've been watching him for a while and knew that guy had talent, but I mean, he went head to head with Rahm. And you can say what you want about Memorial and this and that, but Zozo was a tough one. BMW was a tough one. You had who'd you have? I think you had Rahm and JT at the Zozo in 2nd, 3rd place, and then at the BMW you went head to head with Bryson for like what 6 or 7 playoff holes or whatever it was. I mean, these were not easy tournaments to win. The guy is a competitive golfer. He gave us some great golf this year. I mean, if you're going to argue anything, it's like, well, the majors and whatnot, but no, I mean, to hold on to that kind of lead the entire time, yeah. I mean, look, he didn't hit any roots.
He did not. We'll talk about that in just a second. So let's look at what Patrick did over the weekend. So he didn't gain, you point to, but he didn't gain any strokes putting, which the week before, he just went crazy right at the BMW putting. He didn't really lose anything per se. And, tee to green is where he kind of made it up at it, 6.5 strokes and then 3 off the tee. So I don't know. I mean, it's, I thought it was a good tournament. I don't know if I'm a fan of this whole giving them the, 10 stroke, starting out with strokes. I mean, it happened last year. Now it's happened again this year. I mean, you're within a stroke, right? I don't know. Did it, I guess it was advantageous to him, meaning that he started out, 1 stroke ahead of Rahm and he wins by 1 stroke. So yesterday on maybe 13 looked a little squirrely. I think he pushed it kind of left or pulled it left.
Yeah.
He kind of hit he hit out, looked like one of your shots. It hits the tree, comes up short again. And, and on 18, I mean, he finishes with a birdie. So, stellar finishing form for Cantlay for sure. That guy is Patty Ice, man. The nickname I think is going to stick because Rahm chased him all friggin' weekend. And I'm thinking on 18, right? I mean, that putt or the chip that Rahm had was absolutely makeable. So, he's thinking for sure, man, like I gotta make this putt or 15th playoff of the year. Kevin Na's probably Kevin probably was still warming up, right? He was probably staying loose thinking, okay, we got a playoff coming our way, boys.
Yeah.
But nope, they said, shut her down. We're taking a break.
Exactly. Patty Ice. Yeah. Patty Ice and the Spanish goldfish.
Ooh, how do you say that in Spanish, by the way?
I don't know. That's why.
Let's see. So we finally we get a back-to-back winner on tour.
Yeah.
If you want to call it that, as you reminded me earlier, but I guess technically speaking, he is the winner. But so back-to-back there. And yeah, man, I thought I enjoyed it. Had a good time watching it. Thought it was a fantastic tournament. Let's see. So Patrick is $15 million richer. You brought it up. Let's go there. I saw the WD pop up, and I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. I mean, this is I guess technically it's not a major, so I mean, he really didn't give a shit. But oh wait, I didn't tell you what I did over the weekend.
Yeah, you just go right into the golf.
Hold on. Let me back up. Did you see that spread we threw out yesterday, man?
I did.
Holy shit. We had a crab boil and shrimp. God, was it good. We actually came up with the idea a few months ago when we were at the beach, and we did it at the beach, and we said, hey, we ought to do this for Labor Day. And we kind of got a soft nod and like, okay, if you guys want to do it, go ahead. Man, after everybody got up from the trough, buddy, hey, they said, when are we doing this again? So I think that's going to become a staple for us. But
yeah.
So up in East Tennessee,
I think you guys covered all of the above different things with shrimp.
Oh, yeah, bowl shrimp, barbecue shrimp, about everything you can do with shrimp. Yeah, for sure we did, man. But let's see, East Tennessee had a chance. Oh, I was ball striking my way around the club at Gettysview, man. I was sipping on some ice cold Brooksies, man. We were doing it up. I've actually switched over. I went Boulevardier today, giving it a little break. Drank plenty of bourbon while I was up there. So I got to try a few new things. I'll try to get some reviews out over the next couple of weeks, but yeah, so a couple of good rounds at Gettysview, tooled around on the lake a little bit, no accidents. Everybody well, except I think a few people were feeling a little rough a couple of mornings there, but I don't know if that was an accident. I think, is it still called roofing if you do it to yourself?
No. No. That sounds like a good time, man. Yeah, awesome on the lake and some links, and oh yeah, they'll get the Brooksies in there.
Oh, ice cold, baby, pouring those Brooksies back. Weather couldn't have been better. Almost no humidity, and kind of that cool mountain air. So.
And by the way, new season, everybody, make sure you make the note here. New season, new show name coming to you in later September when the tour kicks back up again. We might do it for the Ryder Cup. It's Birdies and Brooksies.
Birdies and Brooksies, baby. Pouring them back. Hold on. Jay's calling.
Cease and desist.
Well, it's hey, Jeff says he loves those cease and desist. So keep them coming, baby. Keep them coming. So I had a good time visiting with folks, and again got some pretty good rounds in. I think both rounds were in the 80s. So good for me. So hold on. All right. So hold on. Into what'd you do?
It was his family cookout, made some steaks on the grill, that kind of stuff. It was nice and fun. It wasn't too hot here in Raleigh, so really nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. I know we got back a little earlier, and we got back in. I think maybe the first time that I've ever thought this, and I'm like going, damn, what the hell am I doing living in Atlanta? I don't know. I may have the itch, man. I may have the itch to uproot and move on. So I know a good realtor up there, by the way. So I think he'll be able to hook me up. I don't know. We'll see.
Good deal. Mm-hmm.
All right. So back to Eastlake and the Tour Championship. So Brooks, not Brooksy, but Brooks Koepka, WD after hitting a root. I don't know if you saw the video, Dan. But it was pretty extreme, right? I mean, it was and I think it was the left wrist, and I think that he's had some issues with that left wrist before. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what the implications are. The Ryder Cup is 3 weeks out, I believe. So I don't know. Yeah. What do you? I mean, by the way, let's take a look. What's happened at the Ryder Cup? So you got Morikawa, DJ, Bryson. Koepka, JT, and Cantlay are the locks. You got Finau, X-Man, Spieth, English, Reed, which he made the drive over, and Berger round out the top 12. So, what do you think this means for Koepka? Do you think he's going to try to play? Do you think Stricker's going to pull like, hey man, we can't? Because I have made a bet. Already made a bet on the drive down, and I bet Team Euro, unfortunately, because I think that there's so much drama. I think there's so many issues and challenges going on in Club USA's locker room. I don't know how they're going to hold it together, man.
I'm playing with a ton of house money right now. I took Bubba in the Solheim Cup and it paid off. So
in insider news there. I wish you'd have gave me that tip.
I think he's probably going to sit it. Like you said, it's not a major. He's a good team player and all that. Don't get me wrong, but it's a tough one. I think it's a tough one, unless it's minor, which could be, but I don't know. I think he's sitting. Don't you?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I think he's already named, right? He's already made the team. So I think what happens is, and I think that the final players are going to be named Wednesday. It's going to be televised, and they down week for golf, if you will. So they got to do something right to keep the buzz kind of going. So yeah, I mean, I think he probably remains named. I don't know. So here's an interesting one, right? So let's say they leave him on, and it's going to be TBD, right, or questionable, whatever they're calling it, and they're going to name a reserve player, right? So we're going to load the bench up, because I think for not just Brooks's injury, but I think that they have to name some reserve players, because not wishing it on anybody, but somebody very well could come up with COVID. Multiple people could test positive for COVID and not make the trip to Whistling Straits. So I think we're going to be in a position where we're going to see multiple people named as bench players, reserve players, standby, fill-ins, whatever label you want to put on there. Any chance, if Brooks doesn't play due to an injury, any chance that Stricker makes him a vice captain and he shows up?
I would love it. If he did that, this team's going to be very, very highly caffeinated because of Phil Mickelson. And then now you get the Brooksy after the round too. So yeah, they're good to go.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, so Brooks, you got one job. I need you chasing Bryson on every hole, man. Just ride him on every hole, and
Happy Gilmore style.
Heckle the shit out of him until we get something. I don't know, man. I don't think it's looking good. I mean, so DJ, he had a good weekend. JT had a pretty good tournament. Obviously, we know what Cantlay did. Morikawa, I don't know. He's kind of cooling off a little bit, coming off the back injury. Who else is kind of Spieth is definitely cooled down. Harris English, you got Patrick Reed just coming off of the illness that he had. I don't know. On paper, if you look at it, I mean, I think on paper it says Team USA should win. So if you knew nothing about any of the players, if you didn't know all the backstory, all the drama, you had no idea what was going on there, on paper, I think it's Team USA all day. I think once the bell rings and these guys actually show up, does Bryson get along with anybody in the top 12? Is it a friendly relationship? But you got to pair Patrick Reed and Bryson together. I mean, give me a break, man. There's no way that's happening.
Bryson doesn't even get along with his driver most of the time.
Or his putter.
But no, I mean, as much drama as there is around this team, hey, maybe Brooks hurting the wrist will help the team. If he's not a captain or assistant captain, then you don't have that drama. So now Bryson doesn't have the Bryson Brooks thing. There's some really good players on the U.S. team, though. I mean,
rain out. Yeah. I'll get you a rain out.
Exactly.
It's like, yeah, we're going to need you to come up with an injury. You think Sam Burns makes the team now?
I think he should.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, I think Berger, Burns, and probably Scheffler. I don't know. Did Kevin Na at ninth? He's sitting at 19th right now. Did it? I mean,
he said he was playing his lights out at Eastlake because he wanted to impress Stricker. He wanted to be on that team, and he is a great player for that team. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, good player for the team. I don't know that Whistling Straits necessarily sets up well for him. I also wouldn't have said Eastlake set up well for him either. I mean, relatively long, the rough's penal, but I mean, again, I mean, fairways and greens, man.
Well,
So
we talked about him on the Monday show last week. We said he could be dangerous. He's been really in great form lately. In trajectory, he's going up, and we knew that he was going into this week, and he could be a threat to the championship. And there he is. He ties Rahm.
So Na lost 2 strokes off the tee and gained 6 strokes on approach and almost 3 strokes putting. So yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how that winds up. DJ, he lost in every category except for 9.5 strokes gained putting. Burns had a rough week on approach. Tee to green, he lost 7 total. Just looking at some of these other guys. JT, he's got green numbers across the board. Where did Spieth come in at? English, which you wouldn't expect. Lost 3 strokes on the tee.
Yeah, Spieth struggled.
Oh yeah, he lost 6 strokes in approach and half a stroke putt. Lost 5 strokes ball striking. Oof, that's that's kind of scary. What did Brooks do for the? What did Bryson do? Gained 4 strokes off the tee. Yeah, so yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. Again, I've already made a bet. I mean, I think it's Europe's to lose. To be honest, I don't know. We'll see when we get there. Let's see who else. Let's say money list. Hold on. Let's talk player of the year, and then that'll kind of dovetail us into the money list thing. So, did Cantlay? Did he seal the deal by winning the FedEx Cup? He's got 4 victories this year. What does he have in top 10s? Let's take a look. He's got 7 top 10 finishes, 4 wins, 1 runner-up, and 1 third-place finish. I don't know. So did Cantlay? Did he seal it?
Yeah, I think so. I think he won Player of the Year. The 4 wins this year. You got you got the BMW Zozo Memorial and the Tour Championship. I mean, you can't argue with that, other than to say, okay, the best strokes gained player out there has been Jon Rahm. He's got the most top 10s, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, he does, but he didn't win. He didn't win the tournaments of the year. He did have a major. Cantlay's been kind of absent in majors, so you got that as well. But yeah, I think you can't go wrong with Cantlay being Player of the Year. He won some serious tournaments. He's made a name for himself. Okay, let's go backwards for a second. COVID aside, okay, DJ doesn't. If we don't have COVID, DJ probably doesn't win the Masters. It probably goes to Rory McIlroy.
Probably.
Rory probably gets the Grand Slam.
Yeah.
Because he was on fire last year before COVID, right?
Yep, totally agree.
So I mean, you can't say, oh, what if, you got to say what happened. So what do you think?
COVID never met her.
Never met her.
Yeah. I mean, who else could you make an argument for? Right. So, I mean, maybe Bryce. Well, so Jon Rahm, $7.7 million, Cantlay, 7.6, DeChambeau, 7.4, Collin Morikawa, $7 million. So I think that those are your 4 if you're going to pick somebody.
And Kokrak, because we this show here, we grade on a bourbon curb.
Ooh, that's okay. All right. Yeah. You got me on that one. I'll give you that. Nothing wrong with Eagle Rare. So right. I do enjoy a good pour of that. So I don't know. You got DeChambeau and Morikawa with 2 wins. Morikawa won a major. $700,000 off the money leader. No, you can't. It's Cantlay all day long, man. I mean, even though I do think right now Jon Rahm is still the best player out there currently, it's got to be Cantlay. I don't know how anybody could argue that it's not. I mean, you can argue whatever you want to, but I think there's just too many. I think so you made the point about the major wins. I think that you could argue that his 4 wins were a little soft, right? And I think that, and you made the point earlier, you talked about some of the, he's got 2 wins that yeah, okay, I'll give you those were the best in the field. everybody was there, and he won those tournaments. You got another 2 tournaments. It's like, it's a little soft, but I mean, a W is a W, right? I mean, it's when you get done and you turn your scorecard in, nobody asks how you got there. It's just, what's the score? And I mean, I think he won. I think, I think he did it. So
the golden goldfish got COVID at the Golden Bears place, and Morikawa and Cantlay, Patty Ice, went into this playoff. It was like a three-hole playoff, something like that, right? And in the rain, and he was draining sick putts there. And you got Morikawa, who we also put up there from a player of the year kind of potential. And if he wouldn't have had the back problems coming out of the Olympics, he might be player of the year this year with all his wins and his majors and everything. I mean, that guy was just flat out had a kind of Spieth kind of year, right? Back in his prime.
Yeah.
Hot streak.
Totally. Yeah. What is he? He's 24, 25 years old. So, I mean, he's definitely, I mean, there's more to come from that guy for sure. I mean, I think we got a glimpse of what we're going to see out of him. I think that, I think it's
between the WGCs and the majors, he had a killer year. And you're talking about one of the wins that Cantlay had. He went head to head with him. Again, Rahm had the six shot lead going out of there. He also had an ace there. There's 2 strokes there, right? So I mean, don't get me wrong. It's warranted. He made the ace, but there is a little bit of luck there, right? Then with that as well. But I mean, he did have the 6 shot lead. So I don't know what would have happened on that Sunday, but I think Rahm probably would have won that tournament and would have went into the Tour Championship with, the most strokes, ahead, if you will. But then also it was the question now, player of the year is, and I saw this on Twitter too, is not an original thought by me, but is it just player of the year is whoever wins the FedEx Cup, or is there a differentiator for these days?
Well, I mean, trick question, right? I mean, that's what I don't know. I mean, are you going to money list? Are you going to, is it at strokes gained? I mean, I think it's a combination of all of it, right? I mean, I think you got to take into consideration kind of, what happened and I mean, you said it, right? But it's what happened and what occurred. And I think that's where you get to the answer to the question. And again, I don't know. I think you can make legitimate arguments for all 4 of those guys. I don't know how you unseat Cantlay for player of the year.
Well, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Going into the Tour Championship and into the playoffs, Cantlay had 2 wins. Jon Rahm was kind of a front runner, if you will, right? And then going into the Tour Championship, like after the playoffs, it's like, okay, we're in the middle of the play. We're like, well, what does Cantlay need to do to be player of the year? Well, he needs to win. And he did. And here we are like, well, is that good enough? I know. Well, he kind of did everything we asked of him, right?
But I mean, I think that's, it's, let's call it star power, right? And I don't think there's anything really flashy or sexy about Cantlay. I mean, it's, other than he picks his wardrobe out of Gary Player's closet. Other than that, I mean, there's really I think we got I don't know if it was a smile. I don't know.
Patty Ice, his little feet, like a cat.
I don't know if it was a smile or a smirk, whatever we got out of him. But I mean, there's just nothing sexy about the guy, right? I mean, there's nothing that says, "Ooh, I want him to be my champion." It's not totally fans of Patrick Cantlay, but it's like, with Rahm, I mean, you've got the emotion, you've got that. You've got so much character in a person that you want that guy to I think people want Rahm to succeed just like they want Bryson to fail. And I mean, I honestly, I mean, and again, I'm not saying that we want Bryson to fail in no way, shape, or form. I think he's great for the tour. I want him to succeed. I want him to win more tournaments. I want him to hit the ball. I hope he goes and wins the long drive championship. And I mean, I want to see everything out of that guy. And I want W's in his column. However,
that wasn't to tell people that you were saying that it's a dang good point. And actually it's very well stated.
Yeah, right. So, I mean, that's it's good for the sport. What I do think is a little bit shitty though, is, I mean, maybe it's the wrong way to say it. After making a good point, you thought I said something good. I'll go ahead and screw this up. But, when Monahan comes out and says, you're going to get, you're going to get reprimanded as a fan if you yell Brooksy. I mean, it ain't like they're yelling, like, hey, motherfucker. I mean, it's not, I mean, it's a word, right? And I'm thinking to myself, it's like, okay, well, what if it's a kid that doesn't know the difference? And at what point in time,
you're out of here.
Get him out of here. Get him out of here.
If you're not drinking, you're out of here too.
But no, trust me, I'm drinking. I'm always drinking. No, but I think it's so, I'm not saying that people should do it. I'm not necessarily supporting and fostering the fact that people should go down that road, but the guy has created his own bed. And here's what I do think. I think that Bryson could resolve a lot of these issues at the Ryder Cup. I think a lot of this stuff could very well go away. I think he could put this thing to bed and all he kind of has to do is just kind of own it, right? I mean, it's like, hey, well, like when you were a kid, right? It's like, oh, it's like that guy picks on me all the time. It's like, well, if he didn't like you, he wouldn't pick on you. He's only picking on you because he likes you. So, I think some people are doing it probably out of fun. I don't know that anybody's necessarily doing it maliciously per se to see him fail, but I do think they're doing it because in one breath, it's like, oh, that doesn't bother me. I don't have any issues with that. I've got thick skin and it doesn't get in my head. And then, and then flip cameras. And it's like, you're crying over here in the corner because, and kicking people out because they're getting in your head. So I don't know where that goes. I don't know what happens with that thing. I think it's a little bit crazy. I think that fans should be able to police themselves. Obviously, when the Brooksies start flowing ice cold on a warm summer day, and you have a few too many, you're trying to impress, little Miss Cute, their little Mr. Cute thing on your, that came with you. I mean, I can totally see and get how that can be, how that can kind of fuel maybe something that's not positive. But he's got this. He can own it. He can put it to bed. He doesn't need, I feel like he kind of like whined to his dad and he's like, Dad, they keep picking on me. And he's like, okay, son, I'll take care of this for you. And it's like, I don't know. Do you need to do that really? I mean, people are yelling shit all the time. And if you think it ain't going to be yelled, if you think Team Euro isn't going to be yelling shit at him during the Ryder Cup, well, hey, go pour you a nice tall Brooksy and sit back and watch because it is going to happen. It is absolutely going to happen. I mean, they're going to, I guess maybe we got to head on up there. I'm sure there are going to be some spots open up after they throw, I don't know how many people out. So
it's a good point. It's a good point. It's a good standby list for sure.
But that's like, I know I'm bouncing around a little on you, but I'm thinking, but like, that's what the Ryder Cup is. I mean, like that's there, it's the there rowdy, to, no, but think about like, think about Poulter. Think about Reed. Think about think about Spieth. You can just and think about Rory. Those guys are like, they're needling the hell out of each other, and it probably ain't needling at that point. They're kind of going after each other. So I think that environment does foster that kind of behavior. Here's the deal. Think about this. How many times has Patrick Reed been booed on the first tee at a Ryder Cup?
I think every single time.
I don't know how many he's played in, but I would say every damn one of them. And not only on the first tee. I don't know that I've ever, Kez has never mentioned it when he's been on the show. I don't know that I've ever heard him say, don't do that. He's out there like, bring it on, man. He's like, boo me, I'll show you. And I guess just the difference in the individuals, but I think that he's really setting himself up for, meaning Bryson. I think he's setting himself up for just continued heartache down the road if he doesn't just, and I think if he comes out and says, hey man, actually this does bother me and I've got issues with this, I wish you wouldn't do that. There's probably going to be some jerks that do it, but I think for the most part, that's kind of what people are doing. They're like, oh, it doesn't bother you. Okay, we'll keep doing it, until you get the referee to step in and it's like, there are no rules. It's like, except. Yeah. So I don't know, man.
So let me ask you a question. If we do believe, and I do believe that Brooks will not play the Ryder Cup, and I do believe he could be a co-captain. I don't know if they're going to do that. I don't know if they want to do that. I don't know if he wants to do that. They might just want him out of the locker room because it might be a Brooksy.
No. Yeah. If he ain't playing, he ain't showing up.
Okay. That's the question. If Brooks doesn't play the Ryder Cup, when's the next time we see him?
Well, we won't see him at the Tournament of Champions.
No, we will. He won the waste.
Yeah, you're right. So is there a WGC in like late November, early December?
Nope.
Maybe he makes a trip over to for a Dubai tournament, race to Dubai tournament, maybe.
Maybe he'll do the CJ Cup maybe in Vegas maybe. I said that's October, but I don't know if he don't think he's going to play in October. I don't think he'll play then. If he's hurt, he's not going to play then.
Oh, I think if he's injured, we may not see him again until Tournament of Champions in Hawaii.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that if he doesn't play in the Ryder Cup, I think it'll be Hawaii before we see him again, man.
Yeah.
I mean, why would he, what's he showing up for?
Yeah. I don't think he shows up for anything in October. It's way too soon. And then after that, there's not a whole lot on the calendar. So I think we don't see him again until Tournament Champions in Hawaii. I'm with you on that. Yeah. What are we going to talk about for all those months?
I got to know. How about bourbon? How about bourbon? Hey, call me crazy. I'm just throwing it out there. What about bourbon? Let's see. So the tour actually starts back September the 10th.
Mm-hmm.
Poor planning on our part. We should have planned to go out to Silverado in Napa and done some wine tasting out there. But okay, so no. Sorry. Scratch that.
It is the 16th. Yeah, you're right. The 16th.
Sorry. Yeah, 16th.
In Napa, but it's not the Safeway this year. It's the Fortinet. How do we say that?
Yeah, hold on. I'm going to pull back. Fortinet.
Mm-hmm.
Fortinet Championship.
Mm-hmm.
Stuart Sink, defending champ. Does Stuart Sink win a tournament in the 21-22 season?
We haven't heard much from him in a while, have we?
Mm-mm.
I don't know. I hope so.
I hope so too. And then you got the Ryder Cup. You got Sam. I'm just kind of looking through. Maybe the Shriner. Doesn't Brooks usually play the Shriners in Vegas?
Yeah, he usually does play some of these, and I mean you got CJ and Zozo, right? But I'm just saying, like, I don't know if he's going to play in October, right? If he doesn't play the Ryder Cup, he doesn't. If he does play, well, I don't know. We got to put a wager on that one. Speaking of wager, we're going to talk about our one and dones in a second. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh yeah, you do. Did you pick Harris English this week, by the way?
I think I picked. Who did I pick? Who was it? I think I picked Matt Wolff. Might as well.
Does Matt Wolff win? I think he does not win two tournaments like he did this season. But next season, does Matt Wolff pull off a victory?
I think we're going to see a lot of Matt Wolff this fall. As the season kind of calms down, and they got some of these tournaments come up in Vegas and all of that aren't as much headline-ish. They're smaller, right? Just football season. I think you're going to see a lot more of Matt Wolff out there trying to clear his head.
What about Bucky? You think we see Bucky in Jackson, Mississippi? Or is he going to be busy?
That's where this show has gone, folks. That's where the show is going. No longer we are betting on the golf or betting on if people play tournaments. That's how deep we get. We got to get some odds on this. Odds on schedules.
Well, think about it.
I love it.
When's the last time you saw Ricky Fowler in a golf tournament?
Last time we saw him was it Wyndham?
Yeah, but he didn't make the weekend.
No.
When's the last time you saw Ricky Fowler play on the weekend in a golf tournament?
Memorial.
I know. So it's like, yeah. Oh, by the way, if you're listening, get a hold of Stuart Sink's person, get his schedule, and just say yes. Just twice.
Lock me in.
Just twice it. Whatever he's doing, twice it. It's probably in your best interest. I think he's got some exemptions. So I think he's on for sure for this year. I don't know if he's on for next year. I think next year is his last exemption from the TPC win, I believe.
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah. Does he get an exemption to the Ryder Cup?
I think he's got enough frequent flyer miles with wheels up that they'll take him there. Oh yeah, I think he should
actually. Just a joke, people. We're Ricky
actually,
fans.
I think he's shooting a commercial up there, so of course he does.
There you go.
Yeah, Rocket said Jet will be right down to pick you up, bud. Get your gear on.
That's right.
Get your gear on. Okay, what else happened, man? So we may have mentioned. Did we talk about Sungjae Im making
most birdies?
Yeah, so he breaks a record, most birdies in a season, 494. I don't know how I feel about that one. I don't know if that's more birdies than you and I have ever made in our life. So respect. Oh, hold on. You want to dispute that?
No, I just don't think I'm. Yeah, no, I don't. No. I was gonna say, are we counting eagles? But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's just it's a rounding error.
A zero in the column is still a zero in. But no, I mean, with Sungjae, I think it's and breaking that record. I mean, notable, right? But I mean, I think it's one of those it's like, okay, well, great, but how many tournaments did you play in? It's like, I played in everything, coach. It's like, oh, so you played in, and how many cuts did you make? It's like almost all of them, coach. It's like, okay. So, but now hats off to Sungjae for putting himself in a position to be able to break that record. But I don't know if it's like hey man, let's get the pappy down and let's throw one back. And, let's really get down about him making the most birdies. Now, I don't know what the second most is. I have no idea. Nobody talked about that, but I think that's probably something I'm not even saying for the all time. I'm saying on the season, what was the second most amount of birdies that were made? I think then.
Oh, this year.
Yeah. I'm saying, he broke the record, right? But he broke the record that was like, who was it? I think it was Flesh that had the record at I looked, I forgot what it was.
Steve Flesh made in 2000. Yep.
Yeah. So what are we? 21 years later, the record is broken, but I think how many tournaments did Steve play? How many did, comparatively speaking, is it really a measurable number in the sense of what we're talking about? And I'm not taking away from what he did. I think that's, it's probably more birdies than we'll ever make in our lifetime. Not only that we've made today, but in our lifetime. Right. So I think that's probably, and the practice rounds count.
That's a good point. Let me ask you this. So, I got and one for you. So yes, Ricky, get a hold of Stuart Sink's booker for the schedule for next year and just lock all of them in.
Everything.
And step 2, set a goal to try and beat Sungjae next year for most birdies in a season.
Oh, that'll
get you back on tour.
That will definitely get you. That will hold your card for sure. Okay,
so you can pick on him about the thing about playing so much in the season, but the last time I checked, he was at Eastlake. So there you go. It works.
2 years in a row.
Yeah, it works.
2 years in a row. Hey, first season on tour, made it. Second season on tour, made it. I'd say he's batting 100.
Right. So point being is, okay, you could say, well, is it that big of an accomplishment because he just plays all the time? Well, how many other players out there could play at Eastlake if they'd play as much as Sungjae?
Yeah, totally agree, man. Yeah. And that's why I'm saying, I want to know what the second most was. We got to figure that. We'll look and I'll make a note because I want to know what are we measuring it against, right? I mean, if somebody said, oh shit, man, Dan is so tall, when I'm standing next to you, and it's like, right, but I'm not tall. So you calling Dan tall around me is not even really, it's like, okay, well you're not really recording anything, but I do get the record. I totally get it. It's just, if Steve Flesh played 18 tournaments and he had the record for that long, I totally get it. And I also get why it's been 21 years since the record has been, I think it's 21, right? 2000. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I get why it's been that long, because you've got, in Tiger's heyday, what was he playing? Maybe 18 tournaments a year ish. Right. Yeah. So probably no more than 20. So it's like, even though you're winning, I don't know that it's really, I don't know. I'm a little hung up.
Flesh played 123 rounds that year and Im played 126 this year.
Yeah. Okay. So measurable.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's quantifiable from the sense of, or comparable, I guess I should say, in the sense of what they did. So,
yeah. 3 more
um,
events. You played 3 more events.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Yeah. I'm
What,
trying to see what this year, if anybody else, played that much this year or whatnot.
so basically somebody needs to play 4 more events next year and they'll break the record again.
So M's jam-packed schedule continues to be a tradition for Korean golfers playing week in and week out. Among other players that net more than 30 events so far in this season, it was KH Lee. Siwoo Kim also played over 30 events this year. And then this will be the second year that M will lead the tour in events played. He'll tie Brian Stewart with 35 events when Sunday's run is complete.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah. So it's like, just show up, man. Hey, you got to Iron Man that shit.
That's right.
You got to Iron Man that.
Why did he give it to Schauffele? Should have gave the bat to Sanjay.
Exactly. Cal, we're coming for you, bud. We need to talk about this thing. I think you got the wrong guy. Let's see who else, man. So, okay. I mentioned it earlier. You didn't give me any feedback. I don't like the fact that I didn't get an answer on this one.
I love this.
The PIP program. They're not going to announce who gets the checks.
I actually have a question for you on this.
Hold on. Right. Don't lose your question because I want to give like some ridiculous answer.
Okay.
But so when they announced it this year, they gave us the top 10. They gave an example. They said, hey, if we were to do this right now, this would be our top 10 people.
They gave it to us?
Well, I mean, at the beginning when they announced the program, it was Tiger, Rory. G'day, mate. He made the list. I think Phil was on there. Anyway, so you got the 10. If we did it today, here's what you would get.
Right.
So you teased us with this thing. I mean, I almost feel like they catfished us on this one because they gave us who would have gotten the money, put it out there. And now they say, we're getting ready to cut the checks. It's time to cut the check. But we're not going to tell you who got it. So I don't know if that's a smart move. So I could see how.
So they're not going to announce it at all?
No. And by the way, the number 1 player, so they said $40 million, which is another squirrely thing. But as I read it, it said the person that's number 1 is going to get $8 million. I thought they were going to spread $40 million equally across 10 players. That's how they announced it. But as I read the article that was released when Monahan said he's not going to release who gets it, it said $8 million is going to go to the person, the first place guy. So I don't know.
So Brooks is getting hush money. That's why he's taking the rest of the year off.
I mean, I think that's kind of a load of shit though, man. It's like, because I get it from a marketing play. I get why you did it originally. You did it originally because you're fueling the people like us to go and talk about people. The whole Brooksy thing, who else? Like really, I mean, the whole Rahm thing. I mean,
Bryson, Rahm.
But the whole Phil, you had a Spieth come back. I mean, you got a lot of things that were happening. I don't know that this is going to be. I'm not saying that it's. I mean, shit. Trust me. Whoever gets the check, it's positive to them. They're totally cool with it. But I mean, if you're a fan, if you're a golf fan, and you've got your guy, and you're plugging your guy, you're tagging your guy, you're fueling the machine so that somebody wins that. Don't you want to know that you're helping your guy?
Yeah.
I would think, I mean, maybe I would imagine that even though we haven't seen Tiger and, get well soon, hope to see you back, in 2022, but I would imagine he probably comes out number 1. So I don't know. Is it one of those things where, well, you had a question. I'll shut up.
My question was, if Tiger comes out number 1, who's the next player to drive their car off a cliff?
Do I count?
if you want to go for it.
The Genesis? You got to get one of those Genesis.
You got to get one of those Genesis.
I don't know. I mean, I think you got to step it up. Now I could see like Cam Smith. I mean, he could have like a bad fishhook accident or something.
It's a good point. It's a damn good point.
I don't think you have to go car. I mean, I think you could go, ooh. Adam could have he could have an incident with a shark while he's surfing.
It's a good point.
We could stage this. It definitely could be staged. So I don't know. I think it is going to be Tiger, and that's where I was getting ready to go. But I thought you might ask something along those lines. But I think that the reason they're not going to announce it is because you've got a guy that hasn't played. How many tournaments did Tiger play in this year?
Oh man, he played through the Genesis.
Yeah,
that was like what? Was that March, right?
What did he play? Maybe 4 tournaments?
Yeah.
3 tournaments? 3 or 4 tournaments?
Yeah.
So you've got a guy that played like it. So I'm wondering if the reason that they're making that decision is because it's like, I don't want to say that it could be like T-ball, man. It's like, no. Come on, kids. Everybody gets a trophy. And it's like, hey, don't let him yell that at me either. But I think that it could be that it's like they're rewarding, which I think is if Tiger's number 1, I think that the reason somebody's collecting one of the reasons somebody collected Patrick Cantlay collected a $15 million check on yesterday is because of the Tiger Woods influence. Not saying he's the sole proprietor of, I'm not saying that he created, owns it, and did it.
Right.
But I am saying that he is a major factor in the reason that there's a $15 million check out there to get.
Yep. Do you think Tiger's going to be one of the top 10?
I think he's going to be number 1. Yeah. So
you do, even though he hasn't played anything since March, you think he's going to be on the list?
Yeah. Third paragraph, the tour will give, and by the way, this is courtesy of Golf Digest, I think. But the tour will give $8 million to the top PIP ranking, but fans might not know who it takes. I mean, you're basically not going to have, you're not going to know who it is. You're not going to know who it is. And I think that the reason that they're doing that is because I think it's going to be Tiger. And I think that the perception is you're rewarding somebody that's not even playing golf right now. And yeah, exactly. Okay. So that's a good point that you're highlighting there is we don't have any intention of publicizing it. So I think that it may come out. I think that people may leak it. I'd like to know what's the relationship between the player and the tour that says, can I or can I not as a player. And so, when I think Hudson's coming back on pretty soon. So cool. It'd be a good question to ask Hudson, and he may or may not be able to answer directly, but I'm sure he can hint around about it. But it would be interesting to hear if you won this. And for all we know, Hudson could be one of the guys that win one of the 10.
Yeah.
So my question would be is if you did it because of fans, because of media, because people talking and your name's being generated and you're hitting an algorithm that says, yes, this guy's driving business for the PGA Tour. Wouldn't you want to be able to say, thank you? Thank you for everybody that put me in a position to win this. Yeah. I think we're not professionals at anything, but I'm saying thank you to anybody that's watching, listening, now or in future occurrences. And I think that by not doing that, and if they restrict the player from being able to acknowledge the fact that they benefited from a fan base activity, I think that's really poor.
Well, if they weren't going to publicize it, then why did they even let us know what's out there?
Why'd they even say it? Why did you talk about it? I don't know. To me, that sounds like, I don't want to say half-baked. I don't know. Are they easing somebody in for a new sponsorship? I mean, trust me, Fred Smith would cringe if he heard anything other than FedEx. But I mean, I don't know. Are they kind of soft baiting, a new sponsorship coming in and seeing how it's received by the headline sponsor?
I mean, Jim Herman's been talking about it all year on his Twitter, right? And then Max Homa's been talking. I mean, my point is like they're really all hyping it up, and like all the fans are going, yeah, they're always getting hyped up. I'm like, oh, guess what, guys? Like Eastlake, only a little bit worse than Eastlake. There is a secret leaderboard, but you really won't be able to see this one.
Yeah, I think it actually could backfire on him a little bit. I mean, it's not the player's going to be. Trust me, the player's going to be totally fine with it. But so here's what else I want to know is, are the other players? Is it going to be like, hey, did you get a call? It's like, I didn't get a call. Did you get a call? I didn't get a call. Are the players even going to know who gets the check?
Hey, Cal, I got a call.
That's good. I need a new computer, by the way. If you can, do you need my address?
No, I got it.
Hey, by all the shit that shows up in the mail, I can't tell.
Exactly.
I don't know. I'm a little burned on. I don't. We can't end on that note. We got to talk about something else. But I'm a little.
No, I got you right here.
Yeah, but I'm a little burned by that one, man. I think I think that is bad PR, and I'm not trying to create bad PR. I'm just saying I think it's pretty negative.
Yeah.
Solheim Cup, you say? Bubba Watson, isn't he the leading point earner?
Yes, he is. Just ask him.
So what do you think, Bubba? What's the deal with that? Why do you think Bubba did that? Went down that road? I mean, I know what he's doing, right? I mean, Bubba. Well, hold on. Was it self-serving, or is it genuine in the sense? Because I didn't see any other male PGA Tour players that were doing what he's doing. And I get what he's doing, right? He's out there trying to bring attention to the LPGA and the Solheim Cup. But I mean, earlier this year, didn't he come out and talk about stress? And he talked about the challenges of being a player. And I'm not belittling this by any means. I don't know what it's like to be in that position. Definitely couldn't handle it. But I'm just saying, in what he was kind of, in what he was talking about, and, he talked, and I'm paraphrasing, obviously, but, he talked about kind of going through the struggles and, what the challenges and what kind of comes along with everything. I think it was kind of around the whole Matt Wolf thing. And, it's like, hey, let's be more vocal about, the hardships and challenges. I don't feel sorry for you. If you're out there if you put yourself in a position to be able to go and play a sport and make millions of dollars, guess what's coming along with it, right? So, but I don't know how to take that. In the fact that he's showing up there, his intent is very, very well taken. His intent is to bring the spotlight to the women's tour, the LPGA, and the Solheim Cup, which is the female version of the Ryder Cup. I don't know. Hopefully that's PC enough. I can say that. But is it like, well, why is he doing it?
I think it's good for him to do it. He's always had the charity with the pink driver and all that kind of stuff, right? But then also, Bubba's gone through some transformations with his image, right? In terms of all that. He used to be a little bit more rigid on tour, right? Really friendlied himself up and everything else. I think it's great he's there doing it, and he wants to highlight. He says they're 50% of us, right? We're the men's golf, they're the women's golf, etc. I'll say that one thing, as much as he's there doing that, which I think is great, if you're looking at sports in terms of how far the women's game has come in the last couple of years, I think golf is probably, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think golf is one of the ones that's probably been lacking the most. I mean, you've seen women's soccer go after salaries and everything, right? You've seen the tennis is I think it's exactly the same now as it is for the men's in terms of the earnings and everything else. So the women's side, I think, is not exactly there. They're not winning $15 million for the FedEx Cup.
No, they're not. And, I think it was Bubba did see, I think it was on Twitter where he, his quote was, again, I'll paraphrase it, but basically he said, there's as much talent, if not more, on the LPGA Tour as there is the PGA Tour. And I don't think anybody's arguing the talent pool. I think the challenge there becomes it's all about viewership and sponsorship, right? So again, I'm absolutely not taking away anything that Bubba's doing. I'm just saying it's like, who's the female that's stepping up and giving it the Bubba treatment? Like,
Right.
why is Bubba, a PGA professional, spotlighting the LPGA, the Solheim? It's not the LP, it's the Solheim Cup, right? But yep. it matriculates back into the LPGA. Why is Bubba doing that? And I'm not, there's nothing wrong with it, but I'm saying, like, who's the female golfer? Who's the female celebrity that's a golfer that could be putting a spotlight? I don't know the answer to it.
Good point. Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, why is it, here's, I'll push it back over to the men's side. Think about Pebble Beach.
Mm-hmm.
And think about the celebrity tournaments and stuff that go on. And like, when I say Pebble, anytime anybody says Pebble Beach to me, I immediately think, I mean, it's Clint Eastwood, man, all day long, right? I mean, I think he's the president, or was the president of the club there at one time. So, I mean, I'm thinking about Bill Murray. I'm thinking about I'm thinking Kid Rock, right? And it's like, there's a ton of, I played with my cousin, for 2 days last week. I mean, there's plenty of female golfers out there. I guess I'm just confused as to why is Bubba doing it, and why is there not and maybe there is, we just haven't seen it, or we don't.
It surely wasn't highlighted this week.
My point, right? It's like, where is the female superstar, like amateur golfer that's honing in on this? To me, I would think that's the avenue. I'm not saying that Bubba's doing anything wrong. Yeah, it's just like, I don't know. Did it really do anything other than create?
It did get some spotlights on it. They got some spotlights on it, right? They got it covered and everything else. I think it's great, but
it got spotlights on Bubba.
Well, him talking about it, but yeah.
But I'm saying, and I'm not. And again, he has a brand, and he is the business, right? He is the Bubba Watson LLC. So I mean, there's definitely a brand there that he's representing. But I think he got just as much or more out of it than probably the Solheim Cup did.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying. Is I think it could have been a little. I think that it's and I don't know. Maybe he just offered it up. If he did, totally fair. I'd love to talk about it on the show.
Yeah.
I didn't piss him off.
I don't think he did.
No, it's just I'd like to know kind of where their head was at, and like what was the thinking. And I'm not saying why Bubba. I'm just saying, like, what options did you have when you, or did Bubba just say, hey, here's what I'm doing. I'm going to do this. Here I am. So,
the one thing that I think a lot of us have been talking about recently that I think we need to see more of, and maybe even some kind of structured event, is even at the Olympics, we didn't have any like cross-functional stuff with the LPGA Tour, right? I mean, you could have easily done some kind of match play thing with a male-female kind of team type of sport, right? And I think that we need to have something like that. We talked about the Ryder Cup, Solheim. Why is there not like a cross-functional one with both of them that would do great for both tours?
But think about this though. So I don't know what other sport. I don't know. So it could be a trick question. Just thought of this one. But what other sport? Well, okay, tennis is a good one, right?
Yeah,
when like mixed doubles.
Yep, mixed doubles.
Okay, golf is, they're teeing off from a different spot. And that's probably the only, I don't want to say advantage, but that's probably the only difference is where they tee off from. Outside of that, everybody's playing the same golf course.
Yep.
So, I mean, to me, Olympic golf is like a perfect venue. You want to put a spot, you want to promote, you want the LPGA to really do. Christy Kerr, if you're listening, get on whatever you call the Olympic board of whoever. Like that is totally, you're doing a mixed pairing, and by country. So here's what you get. And I mean, I think it sets up perfectly. And it's not, I understand why you don't have men and women doing the 100-yard dash against each other. Totally get it.
Yep.
And, generally speaking, but I think golf is very comparable in the sense of tennis, that like, I think it's got legs, man. And I think it's, you want to build some noise around what's happening. I mean, I think that totally is the way to go.
I think Phil could certainly do a charity thing with that too, with the mixed. Yep.
Well, Phil's probably, he's been writing his speeches. And he's probably been roasting extra coffee.
That's right. Oh yeah, that's right. Pep up speeches. So what do you think, man? Are they gonna be able to pull this thing off?
I did bet Team USA for the women because I think there's one player for Team Euro that's ranked in the top 20.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I hope they do. I mean, if they do, I've got a pretty nice payday coming. If they don't, I mean, I'll still be able to make the mortgage, but I don't know. I don't think so. I don't. I think I don't think the. Gonna get in trouble on this one. I think that the talent is there on both teams, but I think Team Euro is just outplaying them, is what I think.
Yeah.
Who and I think Nordquist right there. I think she's the only one Team Euro that's ranked in the top 20, maybe 15 or so. I don't know. Yeah, I think top 20. So no, I think it's going to go. I think their Team Euro is doubling down, men and women this year. And yeah, I'm betting one way and then the other. So
there you go.
What's coming up for us, man? What do we have? I know we've got we got some good brands coming on. I think we've got some tour players coming on have created. Well, hold on. Before we get into that, you may have something else.
No, you're good. You're good.
We definitely have a lot of bourbon reviews coming on. I think I'm trying to get some gin folks too. Birdies and I don't know what gin. I don't know what we're going to call the gin thing. I guess it'll be golf and gin. If somebody steals that name, by the way, I'm going to be pissed. But
G&G.
G&G, baby. So we got a lot of reviews coming up. We're going to try, I think I'm heading out to CO Trey Dog in a few weeks. So we'll have a cocktail hour coming on out there. I think we're actually going to see Chris Stapleton in a concert in New Mexico, oddly enough.
That's cool.
Who else? Yeah, so we got some tour players coming on. We got tour players that have created some brands that are coming on. We got a lot of gear reviews coming on. And yeah, other than that, man, it should be good. So golf is here's what I would say is if you were playing DraftKings for the 2021 season, the super season, as some, not the spreader, but the season. I would say don't quit. I would say continue to play because a lot of people are going to quit and they're going to turn their attention to football. And I think right now is probably when you can really make some good money. I mean, you got some people that are going to be probably new coming into it. You got some people that are going to be out of it, that are going to be focused on football. And yeah, I'm looking forward to paying for some of these trips Dan's sucking me into.
There you go. There you go, man. Awesome. Oh man, holiday weekend. We got Rye 3 when released on Thursday.
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, they got some new stuff coming out too. I saw. So we got to get another bottle or two of their stuff to sip on. So
good stuff. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, man. Good things to come, Dan.
All right. Cheers.
Oh, wait. Hey.
Yep.
Wait a minute. How'd your one and done do, by the way?
Oh, let's just say there was a bit of a runaway with the one and dones. I think we're all good there.
Cheers.